Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Uke Emmanuel, and in this video I'm going to be showing you some formatting elements in HTML. In the previous video I've explained the heading levels and the paragraph, but in this video I will explain the formatting element. So let me just write format.html. I could continue with the same file, but just to be a quick way to recap, I use a shortcut. If you are watching it for the first time, I explain this shortcut and this HTML boilerplate. You can watch that session. So there are different formatting elements. What we use formatting elements for basic styling in HTML. So we have elements like mark, but I would like to wrap them inside a paragraph. So let me just do this H1 first. I'm using autocomplete. I'm using Emmet. So Emmet will automatically complete this H1. H means heading level 1. And then in order to make sure that we can see this clearly, let me say paragraph. These are different formatting elements in HTML. Awesome. So we have there are many of them. Like I mentioned, there is mark, there is bold, there is italics. But how do we write them? So I'll say B. This B indicates a bold text. This is a bold text. So anything between this B and closing tag will be bold. So that is the formatting. And then I can have mark. Mark is going to highlight. This is a selected text, and then you can have italics. Italics means that it's going to slant the text and give it some emphasis when reading. And then we have some that are closely related, like this B for bold. Now we also have strong to they work in the same way. This is a strong text. The difference between them is their description and accessibility, because when a screen reader is reading your website, it's going to read this different from this one. So they appear the same way, but there is difference in the way your accessibility to the screen reader will interpret them. So it's going to give emphasis to one, and then it's going to read the other one like a normal text. So there is mark, then I made mention of italics. Italics, we use this I to make an italicized text. This is an italicized text, which means that it's going to slant. And then we have the twin brother of this, which is M, which is emphasis. This is an emphasized text. So they are going to appear the same way. And then we have strike. Well, this is actually outdated. So in the previous versions of HTML, because this is HTML5 that I'm using, in the previous versions you can use strike, but in the recent version in the HTML5, strike has been removed. There's a lot of them that were removed in the new version of HTML. That is HTML5. A lot of elements were popped out. So let's check these few ones in the browser. run this. Yeah, we can see how it looks like. This is a bold text, this is a strong text. They both look alike, they look the same way. There's literally no difference except for accessibility. And then this is selected text, shows this highlight under it. This is an italicized text, this is emphasized text. So these two appear in the same way, but the problem is that all of them appear on the same line, even though in the code that I wrote here, I wrote them in different line. The issue is that normally in HTML or in coding, all this extra space, they are not considered as anything. So we have to indicate an element which is going to process the space if we want space or want it to break to the next line. And that's why we have element called break. We have this BR stands for break, and BR is an open tag. I explained that in the introduction to web development, that this open tag does not have a closing tag like other ones. Strong starts here, strong stop here, but BR does not have a stop. The only thing we can do to it to make it fantastic or to comply with the XML version is to put, or XHTML version rather, is to put this / here, but it doesn't really matter whether I put it or not. So we can write BR here, and if I refresh this, we are going to have it on the next line. So this is it for us. Now let me do that for other ones too. This strong, I want to break them after so that we can identify them clearly. Just copied and pasted everything. Now we can see them. Now there are a few others too. We have the delete, which shows a deleted text. You'll see this in websites that deal with e-commerce. When they are going to slash a price, this is a deleted text. And then if I check this, refresh, I can always refresh here or use my shortcut F5 on my keyboard, and then it gives a strike through to it. So this strike through, they can put a price tag like $5,000 and then put a strike on it. So that's how they write it. This delete. And then we have superscript and subscript. So superscript and subscript works like in mathematics now, or even in physics or general subject matter. I want to write things like H2O, that's the formula for water, and you know the 2 is a subscript, so it's not on the same line with the text. So that's what this one is for. And then we have text like first position, second position. You know the ND after the first is going to be on top. So how do we write that? I'll say first, but these ST are going to stay on top, and I'm going to put sup here, and I can just write my ST, clean this one. So if I check here, okay, I didn't have a break here. So I have first, ST loaded on top, and the same thing for the subscript. So I'm going to write H subscript sub H2, and then O is going to start after. I'm going to put a break. Yeah, that's how it appears. You can remove this trailing space. Now, in a case where, let's say I put a space here, and we can see there's one single space here, but if I put another space, like multiple spaces like this, the space here is not going to change. I may want multiple spaces here. Instead of breaking, what I use, or what I will use in this case, is called a non-breaking space. So non-breaking space, we use a character like ampersand and NBSP, which means non-breaking space. You can see the definition here. So if I put this, it's going to double up the space. You can see now, and see now. So I may have to duplicate this again, and NBSP, and then a semicolon. You can see the space again. So all this space become, I'll put this NBSP, which means non-breaking space. It's not going to break to the next line, but there will be a space. Fine. So we also have small tag. If you are using other code editor apart from VS Code, you might have to type all of this thing out, or you install the Emmet plugin to your code editor. Small will render the text small like this. This is a small text. I just put small text, and then you see, let me add a break here. So if you look at this text is smaller compared to this is a. This is a small text. That small is smaller, and the same thing happens for big. So let me just add a big here, BIG for big, even though it is old. So like I mentioned, there are some elements that they do not really, you can see this is a in a big state, but it is archaic. Instead of using big, you can use any of the heading levels that you have, or use your CSS to style the text to become big. But I'll leave this for explanatory purpose. And we have underline, which is going to indicate an underlined text. Underline is indicated with this U. Then put this PR. Say this is an underline text. So if I refresh here, that's how we write underline in HTML. It's very simple. So these are the basic ones that we usually use in HTML formatting. There are just a few others, but they are not really in use like that. But these are the major ones that are in use. We also have insert for inserted text, but it's not commonly used. These are the most common ones. So in the next video, I'm going to be explaining to you other parts of HTML. Please, if you consider this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, share this video, and so that can be a motivation for me to continue. Thank you. See you in the next video.